What's up, everyone? All right, well, here we are Tuesday morning, and I'm in my office, as you can see, and I'm doing a recap. Haven't been doing recaps because I wasn't sure that people really were interested in them. Not a whole lot's been going on in this market anyways, but some folks asked this morning, so I said, okay, I'll do a recap today. So recapping the trades from this morning, and KSPN is continuing higher right now, up, well, about 40% right now, which is pretty good. This one has broken through the 200 moving average, and you know, it's continuing a move from yesterday where it was up about 100%. So it's up from $2 last week, so like 400%. You know, that's pretty impressive. So we are starting to see some action picking back up. I was green today on, I believe it was 5 out of the 5 stocks I traded, which is solid accuracy, so I'm happy with that. Reminder as always that my results are not typical. Trading is risky. Most beginner traders lose money, so you should take it slow. But it seems like we're starting to pick back up a little bit, which is good. So anyways, I hope you enjoy the recap. As always, hit the thumbs up if you do, and I'll see you back here first thing tomorrow morning for the morning show, starting right around probably about 9 a.m. All right, I'll see you then. Okay, so we'll do a recap here. I'm going to go over the trades from the morning. Started a little bit earlier this morning. You know, we've seen some action on the earlier side the last few days. Yesterday we had PLRX, which put in this, you know, nice move, which started early. The news was at, I think it was 7 a.m. Yeah, it was right at 7. It popped up, dipped down, and then started to grind. And it started to pick up around 7:45, up to 8. 8:10 was strong, and then, of course, continued into the open. We had this nice move into the open. You know, what's interesting on this one is that despite this nice move into the open, I actually lost a couple $100 on that whole move. And the reason was the spreads were kind of wild. The way it was trading was pretty insane. So first, on this one yesterday, not to recap all of yesterday, but I took a trade. Where was it? I think it was in this area here. I jumped in, and look at this candle. So this candle right here, the low is 1862, the high is 2048, and the next candle came all the way back down to 1875. And I didn't even trade big size on it, but I lost like $1 a share. I mean, it was kind of nasty. So, and then I was just like, you know what? I don't want to give back profit from pre-market, so I'm just gonna throw in the towel. So anyways, it went a little higher. But so because we had that nice move yesterday, I sat down a little earlier this morning, and the first one I traded was, I think it was GOE. Well, hold on, let me just double check. Yeah, the first trade was on GOEV. So GOEV had a nice move here, and you know, this thing, so the catalyst on it, GOEV news with Walmart. Walmart signed some type of agreement to buy 4,500 vehicles from them, electric vehicles for delivery. The agreement also allowed them to buy an additional 10,000 vehicles. So, you know, for a small cap company, a deal with Walmart is a big deal. I mean, it's a game changer, really. And so the stock is up, well, as of right now, GOEV, it's up 78%. You know, rightfully so. I think that's not unreasonable. So pre-market, the news came out early, 6 a.m., and it popped up immediately. So that was that algo news spike, right? News spikes up like $1 a share. It then pulls back, and then this gives traders the opportunity to say, do I really want to buy this? And the answer was yes. And it rallied here back up to 335, pulled back, and then at 7 a.m., boom, it was off. So what happened at 7 a.m.? Well, the only thing that really happened was that brokers, most retail brokers came online. Most retail brokers don't let you trade before 7 a.m. So 7 a.m. retail brokers come online, and boom, people were already jumping in right there at 7 a.m. And that gave you that squeeze up to 423. So we had a nice move there, and then you'll see that we had a little bit of a funny pattern here where it pulls back on a bull flag for 4 red candles, then 1 green candle. So 5 candles of pullback before first candle makes a new high. And I was like kind of surprised it pulled back that much. And by the way, my trade on this, I bought it at, where was this? Got in a little high on this one. I did this micro pullback right here. And I only made 600 bucks on it, as you can see, 665. So that was my trade, a micro pullback right there. Hit a high of 420, and I took the profit. Or maybe it was right here. Yeah, it was actually right here that I got in on that pullback. It was sort of an ABCD pattern, and so I took that trade there, and it went up to a high of 425, and I sold at like 423 or something like that. So anyways, that was fine. And then it ends up going a little bit higher, obviously up to 5. I didn't trade it anymore. I was already a little iffy about it. So there was one thing on this that I was not sure about. It was, well, 2 things. One was the position of the 200 moving average, a little bit of potential resistance up there around 550. And the second was the float, 140 million shares. That's a pretty high float. And you can see, looking at the level 2, this is stacked, big stack of bids, big stack of offers. And these types of stocks are more difficult for breakout trading. You know, you can get some nice pullback entries, but they're a little bit more difficult if you're a breakout trader and you're trying to do quick, you know, breakout scalp type of setups. You don't typically get good resolution on those. So I was a little surprised that it broke out right here at 9 a.m. all the way up to 460, then did a micro 1-minute pullback, 5-minute pullback, and then up to 5. But I wasn't interested in trading it anymore, and now you've got a bit of a retracement here off that false breakout. So anyway, so that's GOEV. That was the first stock I traded. The second was HSTO. HSTO, you know, another one that was fairly strong pre-market, despite not having any fundamental news. So this was a little odd. It got going yesterday a little bit, pulled back, and then it got going again at 4 a.m. and this sort of spike at 440, and it held this level relatively well. This had a recent reverse split. A reverse split has the effect of reducing the float, and so the float is now very low. I mean, I'm not sure what it is exactly, but it's a very low float. And so we ended up getting this move here at 7:15, which kind of surprised me. And I saw it as soon as it hit my high day momentum scanner as it broke over 473. So it breaks over 473. And I was like, okay. So I ended up jumping in it right as it broke over 5 right here. I got long at 5. It hits a high of 525. And I was like, okay, let's see what this wants to do. And then it flushes down to 467. It's 465. And at this point, I was like, all right. I just went from up 25 cents a share on this to down 35 cents a share. What should I do? And it flushed in this candle so fast, I couldn't even stop, bail out, break even. Now, remember, you don't have actual stop orders pre-market, so you'd have to press the sell button, and it dropped too fast. So immediately I'm down 35 cents a share. And I'm thinking, all right, do I bail, cut it, or do I hold? And I thought, well, this did just pop up here. And as of that moment, this was our leading gapper on the day. And so I thought, because it's the leading gapper, and because it just popped up, I think that this is one of the scenarios where we're probably going to see a first 1-minute candle resolution back to the upside. So I held through this consolidation, and we ended up getting a nice move up to 540. Then a micro pullback, and another opportunity to trade it up to 575. And then another micro pullback, and a trade up to 592. So, you know, all things considered, I only made 1,500 bucks on it. It's not like I crushed it. And, you know, for what it's worth, I'm still trading. I'm still in bear market trading strategy right now. My I'm in bear market risk management. I'm trying to mitigate risk. I want to make money, and I have been making money this year despite the bear market. But I'm wanting to make sure I don't take too much risk and get too aggressive and then end up having a big drawdown. So, trading with smaller size, being a bit more conservative, but, made some money on HSTO. All right, so going into the open, it sort of pulls back a little bit, and that ended up kind of being that. So you got this one squeeze, and now it's pulled back quite a bit. All right, so that was that was the second stock I traded on the day. The third stock I traded today was BBI. BBI was sort of interesting. It had news. It popped up. I jumped in at 4. It pops up to a high of 443 and then immediately reverses back to 373. I bought at 4. I sold 600 shares at 442, and I sold the rest flat at 4. So the profit was from 600 shares, basically, 40 cents, 6 times 4, $250 approximately. So, and then when that reversed, I was like, uh-oh, I don't like that feeling of a stock reversing that hard. And so when INDO popped up next, I thought, I don't know. I think I better be pretty cautious. That stock I just traded, BBI, rejected hard. So INDO pops up first to 7, and then all the way to 7.50, all the way up to $8. And I had to make a decision. Do I go ahead and trade it? And so the answer is yes. And we had a nice 1-minute micro pullback right here at just under $8. And that gave a really clean trade up to 8.40. Then we had a pullback, and then there was another really clean trade right here from 8.40 up to just about $9. Not quite, but pretty close. We ended up then forming a bit of a head and shoulders pattern and reversing back down. All right, so now we have a little bit of a trend. We're having some momentum, but it's not holding super well. So reminding us to be quick, get in, get green, and get out. And then the last one that I traded was KSPN. So KSPN, this one, I noticed when it first hit the scanners that this thing actually made a big move yesterday, about 100% from $3 up to $7. The 200 moving average is at 887. So that was a problem. But what ended up happening on this is it squeezed up into a halt right here at 946. It resumes, and then you get a dip and a rip up to a high of 727. And I bought this at 724. That was my entry, 724. We squeezed up into a halt, 764. And then on resumption, we got to move up to a high of 886. Did not make a lot of money on it. Was trading with smaller share size, even smaller than I was trading pre-market. My max position was only 3,000 shares and only made an average of 20 cents on that. So scaling in and scaling out. All right, well, not a home run, but a nice base hit. And in fact, today was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nice base hits that total up to the $5,000 daily goal. So that is a great day. 5,000 a day is $1 million a year. And if I could do $1 million during a bear market, that would be quite an accomplishment. Realistically, I'm not sure that I'm going to break $1 million this year, but of course, it's too early to tell. It's only, we're only a little bit more than halfway through the year. Yeah, bud. I'll come take a look at it in a second. So, anyways, yeah. So that's my recap for today. A little tricky, and there were some other stocks that squeezed up. ORMP moved higher. TH moved higher. GLSI moved higher. I missed all 3 of those. So there were some more opportunities out there that I missed, just because I either wasn't looking or I underestimated them. TH was easy to borrow, so I thought, I don't know if that's going to really open up. I think it's probably going to be tricky. ORMP was also easy to borrow, so I didn't really think that was going to work, but it went up quite a bit. And then GLSI, I thought, no, I don't know. It's kind of sold off so hard pre-market. I don't think so. And then it ended up going anyway. So, again, if we start seeing this type of momentum on a more regular basis, I'll start feeling more confident to pull the trigger, even on perhaps a B or C quality setup, because I'll know that the trend has been that these are resolving well, even when they're not perfect. But, just 1 or 2 days of that isn't enough for me to change my bias too much. I'm going to still be a bit more conservative and just try to keep locking up base hits. I think the thing that's tough that I'll certainly acknowledge right now is that my average winners are fairly small. My average losers are also fairly small. They're probably about the same in amount. But, it doesn't take much to catch one of these flushes and end up being down 40, 50 cents with full size. And then that's going to have the effect of, in one trade, potentially giving back a full day of profit. Like everything I made today, I could give back in one trade tomorrow, right? Or I could even give back everything I made in the last week in one trade tomorrow. And of course, that's the reality of the market, that trading is risky, and that with one, perhaps momentary lapse of judgment, you take too much risk at the wrong spot at high a day and get caught in a flush, and then you've got to, work your way back and dig yourself out of a pretty big hole. So a couple ways to prevent that is certainly trading with smaller size, so keeping share size capped. And my cap right now is at 10,000 shares, so I can take 10,000 shares, but not more. And that's pretty conservative. You guys know last year and even earlier this year, when things were a little hotter, I was taking 50, 75,000, 100,000 share positions. So I am really throttling myself back, but it's because I know that if I took a $30,000, $45,000 loss right now, it would take me probably a month to make it back in this market. I finished the month of June up 38,000, which was good, but I've lost 38,000 in one day before. And so if I am trading with regular share size, I really can't stomach the risk that comes with that. So I'm trying to be a bit more conservative. And so trading with smaller size is good, but still with 10,000 shares, a 40, 50 cent flush would be $4,000 or $5,000 in the red. And, just like that, I would be, giving back a full day of profit, or a couple days of profit. SVRE, this is a setup with an all-time high of 350, blue sky setup over 350, that in the past I probably would jump on very quickly. In this market, it's hard to know if it's really going to go. Maybe it will, but I'm not going to be the first. Well, I wouldn't be the first one to jump in, but I'm not going to jump in quite yet. I need it to prove itself a little bit more. So probably won't end up taking any trades on that one today. But so then the next thing that I can do is reduce my share size as I go further into the day. So as I go further into the day, scale back share size so that if I had some nice profit early, I don't give it all back in one trade on my last trade at 10:30 or whatever the case is. So anyways, definitely a time to be pretty defensive, lock up base hits, shut it down, and not overstay your welcome. So I'm going to try to maintain that today, close it down, and be back at it first thing tomorrow morning. All right, so that's my recap, and I'll see you back here tomorrow morning. I hope you really enjoyed that video, and make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Our goal is to hit 1 million subscribers this year, but we won't get there without your help. So please, please, please hit that subscribe button.